Life of it. Read. Hello, guys. Good evening. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're all ready. All ready. I think I should lift this a bit up. So, guys, we are talking about life and love, especially how it affects, especially how it affects love, especially for men. Right? I think this is too high now. Oh, is it okay, guys? I think it's okay. Okay, so this is Chisom Utibe Aka. Welcome to my live stream. Still on the 2 years anniversary shenanigans, guys. I am super excited. First of all, let me apologize for not coming on here an hour plus earlier as planned. I've been carried away, guys. I was like, I'm having mixed feelings, right? So the Nigerian chef finally hit the mark. She's currently the longest, or the individual who has the longest cooking time ever in the world. And just watching her last minute, it's still on, because in Nigeria we like to vibe, we like to support, we like to just party about anything that makes us happy. So it's been all sort of excitement, especially because first we are a people that always value a sense of community. Like if you're Nigerian, you will know that we do everything together. Like we practically have gone through the worst times together. We have gone through certain kind of issues, politically, economically, together. So the same way we suffer together, we also went to an election and the will of the people was kind of stolen, so we have mourned together, we have done everything together. So when we find joy, we also latch on it, like when a baby is latching on his mother's breast, you know what I mean? So that's what it means for us in Nigeria. So if you're watching and you're not Nigerian, we just finally have a Guinness World Record breaker individual who has cooked the longest time ever in the history of the world. And she has cooked for 96 hours plus standing, beating Lata Tatadon, the Indian chef who cooked for an amazing 87 hours and won the award, or rather held the record for 3 years now, 3 4 years 4 years now. So finally it is just such an inspiration. Okay, so you know um coming in here, I said we're going to talk about a few things, but let me start from why I do what I do. When it comes to love and life without love for me is meaningless. Like, and love is varied. I mean, they love one person to the other, even stranger to another stranger, family members within themselves, siblings within themselves, the love between parents and children, the love that colleagues in the office or the corporate circle or the business circle have. All of that is are different types of love, right? Then the love between lovers, husband and wife, partners, is also another kind of love. So I'm talking about integrally all these levels of love and trying to relate it to how it makes life, or how it affects life now. So when it comes to men in particular, um, there are certain things that we came to life to meet, right? So we didn't manufacture the thought that, oh, it's a men's world. You know what they say? We didn't manufacture the ideology that women are supposed to be put on a pedestal and catered for. You know what I mean? We didn't start the thought that, oh, for a man to be a man, he has to, you know, have money, have power, and all of those things before he's even counted as like a real man. We came to the earth and we met those ideologies, as dangerous and as toxic as they are, right? And the things that affect men here in Nigeria or in Africa affect men everywhere in the world. So the issues are the same. The same thing with women. The issues that women have here are the issues that women have all over the world. And looking at how that's the fact that love and the quality of love you have determines the quality of your life. So looking at individuals or human beings in general, what do we need to qualify to receive love? For me, I think it's basically being human, just being who you are. You deserve respect. And that's where human rights come in. I mean, you don't see a child because the child is 4 years old and you're older than the child, then you knock the child's head or abuse the child and get stuck free or scot free rather. Right? You can't do that. Anybody, any form of abuse person to person is viewed very, very, very critically because human beings are first the biggest animals on the globe, the biggest force on earth, right? So if one person do not have respect for the other, it becomes an anomaly. Now, I said that to say that that is what it should be. Everybody deserves respect. Everybody deserves to be catered for. Every human being deserves a spot, deserves, a no judgment world in the sense of maximizing who they truly are. And so when the rise of these ideologies, continues, and again, looking at life has generations come and go, and every generation leaves something very remarkable. There's constantly growth, which is constant. Growth is constant, and like they say, change is inevitable. So people change, behaviors across generations. So that's why my generation of parents are not, and the way they think and behave, or the things they believe, is not the way I live my life now as a parent, for instance. So generations have different ideologies they go by, and those things are usually progressive. If it becomes non-progressive, then there's a problem, because again, human beings are dynamic. Human beings are, we call the shots, so we can decide that, okay, this is how we now want to live. So how does this affect quality of love and life? So if we have met in my Igbo traditional, or in my Igbo tribe, or even, I mean, I wanted to say Igbo tribe, but I just remembered. I mean, I read the Bible from when I was a child, so it's the same thing we saw in the days of the Hebrew days, the days in the Egypt and Israel in the Bible. So it's not just an Igbo thing. So what I'm trying to say is, we saw a lifestyle where the man is the what they call it, like the soul. Will I say the soul provider, protector, soul go-to person, right? Now that's fine, like in the order of things, men in the family are leaders for order, so that there's no, like everybody is not, maybe a child is not leading tomorrow, tomorrow is the wife or the husband. So for order, God made Adam and gave him Eve, right? That's fine. But in the olden days, like I said, generally, both in my tribe and in the Bible days, we saw where, men are the sole responsible, the sole, what do you call that now? The people who are solely responsible, yeah, for what happens to their families. They are the ones whose wealth are kind of documented. So you hear things like Abraham had 700 and something sheep or cattle, that kind of thing. And so their wealth was measured in their acquisitions, what they have. Cattle today might be, cars, cars of today, and all of that. Even though cattle are more of an asset than cars in that sense, but you know what I'm trying to, so men were always accounted for what they have and all of that. Genealogies were named after men, of course, so you hear this person gave birth to this person, that person, that person. So women were always um kind of silent when it comes to documentation, and you see that traditional role of a woman, women being the major nurturers, homemakers, and all of that. Yes, and like I'm picking my words carefully because it's not. There's no generalization. There's nothing that you can say. This is how it has been. I mean, we see saw in the Bible where people like Esther, broke boundaries. We saw people like what's her name? The woman who went to war, she was like the captain of hundreds of men and they went to the war to fight and all of that. She was their captain, right? So that doesn't discount the fact that women are not also there. But you know what I mean? The harder work. Now, the statistics of men, for instance, who die every year from factory related injuries is so way high because If you come to a factory where there are big machines, cutting equipment, things having to lift very heavy things, come the car factory will not employ women to do those kind of jobs, right? So traditionally, there are certain things that are, that are expected that if a woman is doing it and a man is around, the man should naturally know that he should go help out, or take it over because men have the strength, the muscle, and all of that. Women also have their strength, but of course not in the physical, and all of those. So, but we have seen a situation where because there are constantly changes, we have had a generation who we have had a generation that have evolved when it comes to family systems, but we also have had people in that generation that that it feels like they didn't get the memo, right? Both men and women, right? And I want to also extract a bit of how this has or is affecting families. If you're one of the people that are watching me and you are not paying attention to the divorce rate all across the world and especially in Africa now, then I think you should get interested and find the statistics. It will shock you. It will shock you. So and from that, a lot of questions have come up. Is either we our generation don't understand what marriage is about, or we don't understand our roles now, not traditional roles now, but our biological roles, which I think are things that are nature. Every other thing is societal, indoctrination or systematization. And I think that's where the problem is, right? So, for instance, if a woman and a man goes for a job interview and the job is maybe typically like factory kind of work, and both of them have the qualifications to do that job, the likelihood that the man will be employed over the woman and the woman will not be given the job, that what I mean, is fact is like 99.9%, because again, they are considering the fact of the demands of the job and who can handle it better, right? Same way, in so many of the jobs these days, since the late 1990s and early 2020s, we have seen a rise in women being preferred for certain key positions. And it has also affected how men think about themselves and have taken it into marriage. So, for instance, I don't know who taught us, for instance, that a, a man should typically out earn his wife or his partner, for him to retain respect, for instance. These are very thorny, terrible issues in society, in workplaces, in marriage in particular. Now, I don't also know who came up with the ideology that when a woman earns way higher, is very rich, she is going to downplay the place of a man in her life. I don't know who came up with all that ideology as well. Again, I don't know who came up with the ideology that a man must do whatever it takes. He must keep trying. It's better for him to keep trying and die in the process to ensure that his wife does not earn more than him. Now, there's on the aspect of life skills. Now, you see, for instance, I've been in the training and empowerment sector for a couple of years. Not a couple of years, I mean, going to over 10, or a decade, which is 10 years. And typically, when you design a program, training program, or coaching program, certification program, whatever it is, the likelihood that you're going to get 90% of more women registering is very, very, very high. So a lot of men are not given to self-development. A lot of men don't have life skills from being raised. Now they also don't think is worth investing the time to learn anything. They just follow through with that one way thing they know and tell themselves that they are busy making money. Because remember, the goal in this ideology is to make sure that a woman does not out earn you. And then they try and try and try. And if they meet any female on their path who has already surpassed them in income and influence and status, then she becomes a sacred cow that should not be, neared. And of course, then other issues like the degradation in society. So I've mentioned the part of income, I've mentioned the part of roles and all of those things. I've mentioned the part of lack of balance between the both genders when it comes to self development. Now I'm talking about also the fact that who what does the fact of knowing what leadership at home really means. So these are some of the issues that I wanted to dissect. Let me know in the comment section what you're thinking as I'm saying these things. But all of these issues are the reason why I do what I do, because the rate that things are going, I have been in men empowerment since 2012 and seriously since 2016. And I have also had quite some experience, right? And as much as it has been fun, it has also been, I have also been able to validate the fact that we really need to help and provide resources, safe spaces, time out that are focused on men, because a lot of men are dealing with the mental stress of trying to prove themselves on a day-to-day basis. That is so huge that we haven't even begun to do anything in that state. I mean, we are trying, but we're just scratching the surface. Most women are operating at the point of disillusionment. First of all, from over entitlement to disillusionment. And it's turning a lot in how we interact as human beings, how we interact as partners, and who is better to tell a man how a woman thinks of him or of his behavior than a woman? So you see where I'm coming from. So I'm able to unveil to you how women think about certain key aspects of life and living, and that for me is very, very instructive. And I've had quite some experience, guys. I have a lot of experience, but I have a lot of success stories as well. I mean, I remember having a client once who, because I have paid sessions, paid coaching sessions, and therapy sessions for men, and I have a couple of people who have been such a success story. One of them presently who lives in Norway, and he had an issue where he didn't feel like he was going to go ahead to marry the lady she had already made plans to marry. I mean, they had already fixed wedding date, guys. But going through the sessions helped him to uncover by himself that this woman, I dare not miss her. After having to go all the way to say, oh, no, no, I'm going to stop this wedding, stop it. Imagine the two families involved and all that. And that success story makes me smile today, because today they are married. And he keeps saying, I wish, not I wish, he keeps saying, I really, really am grateful that I did not make that mistake to have abandoned this love and some other things. And we also have a lot of other success stories where men have said, oh my God, what you shared was what helped us to improve on our marriage in one way or the other. And I also have a community of men called the Men Code Movement. And we have even merch. We have merchandise, shirts, and all of those that we currently still run. I mean, we'll be running this since 2016. So I run the Men Code Movement. We have a group on Facebook as well. You can join if you're a man, right? And an offshoot of it for people who are not married is called the Ready to Choose a Wife Academy. All of that I have also brought to this channel. So even if you don't want to join those groups, it's fine, because this is where my energy is right now. And even my team that I was running the community with, we are right now not doing any form of work in that sense. So this is where we are, we are building. This is why this is very important for me. This is very, very important. And then the aim of this whole movement is to provide for men tools, things you can use, things that will help you know what to do per time. When you feel threatened, when you feel stressed, when you feel the need to superimpose your ego, don't get it twisted. I'm not one of those people that believe that men have ego and their ego spoils all kinds of things. No, it's not true. Every human being has ego. In fact, I think that women's own ego is out of this world. Like, we feel very entitled to things, in that sense, and we always want to be held on a pedestal. Men worship us more, like bow down and worship us, like, like what? Who told who? Remember, the devil told Jesus, like, you should bow down and worship him. I'm going to give you all of this. That's almost how, typically, um girls are raised. I mean, I remember when I was a child, I was always sang a lullaby that interestingly says, don't let any death touch you. Don't worry, a big man is going to take care of you. As a child, in fact, let me sing it. Chi chi beke ekwela dati mesage dati mesage gerencha sapuya onye ji ego ga-alụ gị ịnụ. Onye ji ego ga-alụ gị ịnụ. Now, for those who don't understand Igbo, he's just saying, oh, Chichi baby, don't worry, don't cry, don't worry, don't let any debt touch you. I mean, if any debt comes near you, wash it out immediately and just keep yourself prim and proper, because your knight in shining armor with a lot of wealth is coming to take you away. That was the kind of song that was being sung to me as a child. So you can imagine. So a girl is raised to think that is entitled to what a man owns. Yeah. So while we are breaking that barrier, we're also breaking a barrier where men don't see themselves like, I can't provide what this girl wants, so I'm not good enough. You get what I mean? So that's the force which I do what I do, because I have seen actual babies. Sorry for that description, but actual babies grown in their 30s who, when you encounter some of the things they do at home, they don't know what to do at any time, and they're supposed to be the head of the family. It breaks my heart, guys. And if you're on this journey and you think you want to support what we do right here, then this is a call to say, come on board, let's do this. Come on board. One of the ways you can support, I'm going to mention while we wrap up. One way to join this movement and support as a partner is to share our videos. We have 133 of them now. Share these videos with men that it will benefit. That's one way. Secondly, subscribe to this channel and get other people, men, go on a crusade online and get people offline and online, really, to subscribe and watch our videos. That's another way you can support. Now, another way, the third way you can support is by actually donating to this cause. I'm going to leave the details for donation if you want to donate, whether in dollars, pounds, euro, naira. I'm going to leave those details just here in the description box after this live stream. And I'm also going to pin it in the comments, in the first comment of this live stream, so they can go ahead and donate. And I will tell you, when you contact us, we'll also let you know what your money is going to be for. We're going to send you our partners package and all of that. Another way you can support is to invite me now to come and speak to an audience of men. Right? So a men community, whether it's in a church, in a society, in a community, that you think that they need one form of motivation, inspiration, guide, or the other, or they actually have maybe a group of men who say, for instance, they just got separated from their wives and they're having issues trying to understand and come back together as a couple, or they are divorced. See, divorce must not always be final, right? Or men who are struggling with mental health, as usual, as we can see all over the streets everywhere. Men are mostly the ones with serious issues when it comes to mental health and all of that. Well, this statistic is not proven. It's from my observation. Okay, whatever it is, you can invite me to come speak. We organize retreats, customized retreats. We have also programs going forward. Now, the other way you can support is by partnering with partnering for our programs. Yeah. So we have a yearly retreat that we're going to do for men, starting from 2024, that you can actually inquire and get the details about right now. We also have bi-monthly workshops, which are just like, safe spaces, fun grooming sessions that is like a play date, like personal play dates with men and also their wives or their partners, that we do in various cities. We're about to kickstart that very well. So let me know which of these that you think you want to help with. Another part is to publicize what we do, right? So any of these things that you think you want to be interested, you're interested in, and you want to be part of, I'll be super excited to welcome you to the program. And this is powered by my company, Logos Audibles Counseling. With the counseling arm of Logos Audibles is the one handling these men empowerment and boys empowerment. Did I also mention that we want to see a generation of men that are empowered from loving themselves first and then loving the women in their lives and building strong families and leaving a legacy that is unequaled? That's our aim. And also, so part of the jobs of these men who join our community is also to reach out to their sons and boys in different places across the world. So I'm happy that you have watched this extent. If you watch to this end, let me know by typing in the comment section, oh my God, Chisom, you did that. Let's do it so that we can confuse people that didn't watch to the end. And also so that I will know that you got to the end, okay? So let's do that now. Let me know which part of my our partnership package that you want to be part of, and I'll be excited to reach out to you. Our email address is down here, chisomutebeaka@gmail.com. And also, we're on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. You can reach out and let's get this going. Remember, it's one of those things you have to put on your calendar and say, I want to remember to get back to do this. Okay. All right. So talk to you again soon. This is to the end of my live stream for my second anniversary on this channel. This journey that started 6 years ago on my previous channel has brought us here for the last 2 years consistently. And I look forward to, first of all, growing this community to the millions. Yes, to the millions and much more. Okay. Thank you so much for all your support. I really do appreciate. I want to take this time out to thank especially women on this live stream. You guys are lifesavers. Women have been the greatest supporters of this channel, ironically, right? So I really want to say thank you to you all and see you soon. So we are back to regular programming, 3 videos every week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Don't miss them. Please share them, and God bless you all. Bye. Well done is saying bye.